This is taxpayer-funded data. I fully expect this to be open. I fully expect it to be easy to find. And I would prefer to see it already mapped. Hey, Map Stackers, it's open data review time. And today we're going to be looking at UK property price data, specifically the data that you see on screen here, which is UK property prices for October 2022. The UK releases new data every month. And on screen, we can see the UK broken up into different areas, and we can see the different areas color-coded based on the average property price. The data also contains some other interesting information, such as the annual change and the monthly change. Okay, so what we're going to be looking at today is the data that was used to power this map, and we're going to review it. So as we start all reviews, we're going to start with accessibility. So accessibility means how easy is it to find that data? So we're going to go into our friend Google here, and we're going to type in UK. Well, I'm really bad at typing today. I'm all over the place. UK property price data. And let's see where we are. Okay, so this is actually the site where the data comes from, Land Registry here in the UK. And we can see that they're actually in the top spot. So that's 4 marks for discoverability. We're right there. Second question about accessibility is, what are we looking at? What is this data? You know, when's it from? What does it contain? So also, pretty good job here. We've got a summary right at the top that gives us some information about the data and gives us some headline information. Then we get a little bit more detail about the data, where it's from, who collected it, etc. And the bit that we're really interested in is, how do we get the raw data? Okay, so the summary is good. So we're going to do the click countdown. How many clicks does it take us to get from here to the raw data? So here's the first link. That's click 1. We're going to scroll down here, and we want the data downloads. Click 2. Scroll down again. And here's all of the raw data available as CSV format. Click 3. But here's a problem. The UK Gov site has a bug where you can't do any of the downloads on Google Chrome. Okay, at this point, I think 2023, Google Chrome makes up like 90% of traffic on the internet. Whenever I look at any of the websites or domains I use, it certainly does. 90% of users on Google Chrome. So that's a pretty big bug. They tell you to open in another browser. I'm running Linux, so I've got Firefox already installed. But, you know, some people, if you're on a Chromebook, for example, what do you do if you're on a Chromebook? You know, I think Chromebooks, you can only have Chrome. Is that right? But anyway, I found a little workaround. You can right-click on a data set. So we've got this one data set here that's like all of the information. It's like all of the columns. For the map that we saw on screen a second ago, this one, I'm just using the average price data. So the workaround to download it is right-click and then click Save Link As, Save, and then if we just click the little arrow down here, sorry, I've got to look over my laptop lid and press Keep, then it will actually download the data. Okay, so 3-4 clicks to get to the raw data, not bad. Second part we're looking at is data format for accessibility. So is it available as a map? No. Is it available in a map-ready format? So that would be shapefile, GeoJSON, GeoPackage? No. It's available as a CSV. So that means to get this into a map, we're going to have to do some additional work. Okay, so that's not brilliant. But let's open up now the CSV and see what we're working with. So we are going to go in here. Here's the CSV. Let's open this up in LibreOffice and see what we've got. So whenever I'm opening a CSV like this, what am I looking for straight away? The first thing I'm going to be looking at is the headers. Okay, so I'm going to come in here and I'm going to be looking at the headers. And what I'm really looking for is, are they human readable? Okay, have they used human readable names rather than lookup codes? Okay, so good points here for HM Land Registry. We've got human readable column names, date, region name, area code, average price, monthly change, annual change, etc. So that's great. Second thing I'm going to be looking at when I'm looking at CSV, if we already had this in GeoJSON, I don't need to look for this. There's no extra work. I can just take that data and load it into MapStack or QGIS. But with this one, because it's a CSV, to map it, we're going to have to join it to some geometry data. So what I'm looking at is a unique ID that can be used to join it to another file that contains the geometry for these areas. So, okay, so we've got a unique ID here, so that's good. Third thing that I'm going to look at in the data is the general structure of the data. Now, you can see something that's quite strange here. We can see that the dates go all the way back to 1968, which explains why this file is actually so large. So what they've done is they haven't just given us the newest data, which was the web page we went to, the data for October. It's actually got all of the data for the UK up to and including October. So if we wanted to just map the newest data, what we would have to do is we would have to delete all of the old data in here. So that's just an extra step. So that's not brilliant. Okay, so as we don't have it in map ready format, what I did is I went ahead and mapped this. There's another video you can see online where you can see me going into this data raw where I know nothing and live streaming the process that it took me to turn it into a map, the map that you see on screen here. And I can tell you that that process took 1 hour. Okay, so once we've got it mapped on screen, the final thoughts are kind of style points. How cool is the data? How niche is the data? So I like to give bonus points to data that's quite niche, or it's a labor of love where an individual's been crafting the data in their spare time. This is taxpayer-funded data. I fully expect this to be open. I fully expect it to be easy to find, and I would prefer to see it already mapped. I think that would be pretty cool. So no bonus points there for the niche. So it's time to give it a final score. Okay. The data was easy to find. The summary was good, but where it started to fall down, it wasn't available in a map-ready format. We had those good column names. That was cool. They were human readable. Data was in a bit of a bad structure. Took me about an hour to find the geometry file and turn that into a map. So, it's pretty good, but not great. So I'm going to give this open data experience a mark of 6.7. Obviously, the map's now online and it's in MapStack. So in future, users should just be able to find it with a Google search and go straight to a map. Okay, this is Chris for Open Data Review. Peace.